Hi, this is Joy Robertson. As many of you know, I love food. I love finding new restaurants. I love trying new dishes. And most of all, I love talking to the many great restaurateurs and entrepreneurs we have here in the Ozarks and beyond. I love hearing their stories, and that's what this podcast is all about, learning more about them and their journey. So join me as we savor the Ozarks. Okay, I know a lot of you have seen the beautiful London Calling food truck around town and the double-decker bus around town. I'm going to have a really interesting conversation with how that got started with Neil Gomme and Carrie Mitchell. You are co-owners of London Calling. Neil, I'm going to start with you. Something about your accent tells me you're not from around here. Where do you come from?
Well, it's not Arkansas either, but I'm originally from London, England, just outside northwest London.
Okay, and we can tell by the food coming from your food truck that this is a uniquely UK set of dishes that have gone over really, really well here. Who do I start with here? How did this whole idea of the food truck get started? Because you're both neck deep in this deal, and this is a way more interesting backstory. Carrie, do you want to tell me kind of how this whole thing unfolded?
Sure. So Neil is married to my sister, and he back in 2006 he was dating my sister, and so we went over to England to check him out, make sure he was good enough for my sister, right? No, I'm kidding. He's great. We had met him before, but my husband and I went to England, and we were traveling from England to France, and we got into the train station, and we saw a pasty for the first time in my entire life. I saw the most beautiful, glowing hand pie, and I just thought, this is something that I can do. And in fact, my husband said it, you could do this. I'm like, yes, I could do this. So, and I had been looking for something, and then Neil and I, he and I are both we wanted to start our own businesses. And so we started working together over Skype, and we started coming up with the business concepts, and we partnered. And then when he moved over to America with my sister, we started on Glenstone with the double-decker bus and the food trailer, and much to our pure happiness and surprise, everyone accepted the pasty with great enthusiasm, and still have. So we've been super blessed by the community here. So.
Well, everybody loves that. And you come by this naturally. When you tasted that pasty at first, you have a hospitality background. Food, hotels, all of the hospitality. So that's really what made you think, I can do this. It's not like you just were a casual tourist who said, I really like this. You knew what you were doing. Was it you that approached Neil about this?
I did. Actually, when he came to visit my sister in America, I had started working on the pasty at home, rendering fat into lard, and just there wasn't a whole lot online to learn about pasties back then, but there were a few things. So I was learning how to crimp the pasty, which is a whole nother skill set that we don't have in America. So I had to learn how to crimp the pasty and how much to put in and how you layer it and how to make it a traditional Cornish pasty. And then when Neil came to visit, I brought them over to him and to see. I said, "Is this the right crimp? Does this taste like home?" and all that kind of stuff. And during that time, we decided we would partner together and use his sales background and my food background and bring the pasty to the Ozarks.
And Neil, you met Amy, your sister, Carrie's sister, at a camp in Maine. You both worked at a camp, and sparks flew, and you worked for Coca-Cola for several years. So you had a marketing background through that, correct?
Yes, I worked for Coke for 15 years and very fortunate to have a little sabbatical in between, and that's where I came over to America to coach a sport, and that's where I met my wife in a summer camp, and then after backwards and forwards and everything, we got married. She moved to England with me for 6 years, and in that time we visited Europe and went travelling and saw lots of things, and But yeah, spent 15 years with Coca-Cola and built up a big sales and marketing background. Learned lots. The training that they had was phenomenal. Very good company to work for. So I was heavily invested in. So I had a lot of knowledge on that side of it. So with Kerry's background in food and her skills and talents, and then what hopefully I could bring to the table with letting everybody know about the food and getting everybody to come and try it and building something that's really unique and a landmark and everything, that would be something that I could help promote what we were building, and the two together would be a great business. And Kerry fortunately had a background in business over here. She had a family business that she helped run as well. So we had some good skills to hopefully make something really special.
So you and Amy had been in the UK for several years, but there's this pesky sister-in-law over here that wants to open this business, right? So was it a tough sell to get you to say, I'm going to pick up and move across the pond to Springfield, Missouri?
Great question. So absolutely not. When Kerry said it, I was like, absolutely. So whenever I holidayed in the southwest of England, pasties are everywhere. It's very popular in that side because of the mines. So the pasty is originally a miner's food, and all the mines were in that southwest corner of England. So very popular, and I loved them. Absolutely loved them. In fact, when I lived in London, I would go into London on the tube. There are multiple, like almost at every tube station, there is a pasty company, a little kiosk that you can buy pasties from. So it's very much a fast food. It's hearty, it fills you up, and so it's perfect for on the go kind of food, which is where you find it in train stations. So when Kerry, actually that's where she tried it, and that's where I grew up eating them in and out of London, and she said to me, we could do this business where we sat, and I visited Springfield when I came to see my wife Amy, and the reaction that I got, being a foreigner with a British accent, was unbelievable. There weren't many Brits in this town, so whenever I would speak to anybody in Subway or in any of the restaurants or at Bass Pro or anywhere, people would just look at me like I was from another planet, and I was like, well, this would be fun to create something that nobody's ever had before. I definitely get a good reaction from the public, like people are really responsive to me and they want to chat with me and everything. So I thought this could really work over here. We got a really good relationship with England and America as well. Like we especially with the military. I've got a military background, and I always hear great stories about the military with every. So altogether, it just really felt right, and I loved the fact that I was bringing something from my culture over to here and spreading something and doing something important, with our culture, and actually doing something that nobody has ever tried before over here. So it's really good.
Speaking of never tried it, we have to assume that not everyone listening right now knows what a pasty is, and it's essentially kind of like a sort of half circle shaped little meat pie. It's a like you said, Carrie, it's like a Hot Pocket, but much better. What did you say?
It's like a Hot Pocket on steroids.
So you are the brains behind the recipe, right? What flavors did you start with?
Well, the traditional is the one that you have to master, and it originated in Cornwall, England. We don't call it the Cornish pasty because it's actually protected. The name is protected. It has to be made in Cornwall in a special way with Cornish ingredients. So we just call it the traditional pasty. But that is steak, usually chuck or skirt, potato, like a waxy potato, rutabaga. And if you don't know what rutabaga is, it's literally a cross between a cabbage and a turnip. So it's a cruciferous vegetable. And then onion and salt and pepper. That's it. And butter. There's butter on the inside. And then the crust itself is a short crust, which in essence is a pie crust. That's what a sturdy pie crust, So it's a handheld pot pie, steak, potato, rutabaga, and onion, salt, pepper, and butter. And it's probably my favorite. Probably yours too, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
That and maybe the chicken tikka masala. I do like that one. Yeah.
Oh, I love the chicken tikka masala. But you say that this crust on ours is different to some degree than the ones you would get back home in the UK. What's different about it?
Yeah, so in England it's been popularised, so it's mass produced now. So there's a lot, they churn out a lot of them. A company called Ginsters is a popular one, but even the brands like West Cornish Pasty Company. also just make so many of them that they've kind of trimmed down the ingredients a little bit. The crust is a lot thinner, a lot lighter. Ours is a little more gourmet, and so it's a little denser and more hearty. But also, you can definitely taste the quality as well in it. The steak, we get a lot more steak in ours, so it really fills you up, and it's a lot of flavour. It tastes just like the ones in England, but you can tell it's a little more quality to it.
Well, we're hearty Midwesterners here. We want a good size meal, right? What other flavors you do now? And much to the chagrin of your friends over in the UK, they're not digging this. You dared to do a cheeseburger pasty. God bless you for it. I'm just saying. But your friends were like, "What's that? What are you doing, Neil? Where'd you get that idea?"
Hey, we definitely got a lot of flack for that. But it's fantastic. So what we would do is every month we would do a monthly special, and so Kerry would come up with a creative idea, or we'd have the public ask to do certain ones as well. And from those ideas, Kerry went to work at putting together a one. But it wasn't just a normal one. It would have to be gourmet. So part of our name is London Calling Gourmet Pasty Company. So we wanted to be a little step above. So the bacon cheeseburger one, for example, is it's pretty special. It's ground beef, and then smoky bacon, and then Gouda cheese, and then we do a Thousand Island dressing, which we call Britain is an island dressing, but Thousand Island dressing on the side, and it is phenomenal. But it was a monthly special, and we ran it, and people loved it so much that we thought it was a good introduction to somebody who didn't know what a pasty was and was a little nervous about trying something. It was a familiar flavour that they would be like, oh, okay, let's try the bacon cheeseburger one because I know what that should taste like. And then they go on from that to, another flavour. And it's also very good for kids as well. Kids kind of, again, know what that is. So our goal was to really share, our mission for this whole business is to share pasties across the country and get people to try and enjoy them. So we wanted to make a few different flavours that catered for different tastes. And so that one, and then the pizza one as well, which is very similar to a calzone with Italian sausage, pepperoni, provolone, and a marinara sauce. And again, another familiar flavour that's very popular. And bacon cheeseburger, one year, I think it was 2 years ago, the bacon cheeseburger was our number one selling pasty, which disappoints me, but also I understand. The traditional was the second biggest, and it has been, the traditional has been the biggest seller every year, apart from 1 year where the bacon cheese took over. So yeah.
So the bacon cheeseburger is now on the menu all the time.
It is.
Okay, good to know. Another thing that I love is the sausage roll. I am not shy to say that and I'm going to tell a real quick story. I came up to the truck when it was on Glenstone, and I wanted to try the sausage roll, but the person in front of me bought all the gravy. Do you remember that? Some man came in front of me and bought the gravy, like a big vat of gravy to take home. And I'm like, what did he just buy? And I remember it was like, there's a little scraping of this gravy. So I got my sausage roll and my little, tablespoon of gravy, and I was like, okay, you need to make more of the gravy. It's a Guinness gravy. And then, I don't know, a trip or two later, I took a selfie on the bus. Having finished my sausage roll, I was drinking the rest of the gravy.
We still use that picture. we still use that picture.
See, you learn. You post things online. Sometimes they get used in different ways that you didn't expect. But I love that, and I proudly love the Guinness gravy. That was one of the recipes you came up with, Carrie.
It was. I don't know if I should tell the story that I just told you before. No, Neil says don't tell that story. But when we first started, I was the only one that was making anything on our food truck, and so we didn't have a staff, and I was trying to prepare the menu and ready to open, and we were pushed to open. We needed to get open. We needed to pay for some things, so I didn't have time to perfect the gravy, and I had somebody come and tell me that I had not perfected perfected the gravy.
Tough news to swallow, but sometimes it works in a roundabout sort of very good way.
It does. No, it was a failure in my own mind because it was very important for us to have a gourmet product, but I just didn't have the time at that point because we really had to press to get open. So I immediately went to work and worked out the Guinness gravy and worked on the seasonings, and it's got real Guinness in it, like lots of Guinness beer in it. Now it's cooked out. You don't have to worry about getting drunk on it or anything, but I worked a long time to get it where it is today. So it pleases me so much that you like it. I really am so happy about that. So.
Well, I love it, but the guy in front of me really loved it. And I'll never forget that. I was like, what did he just walk away with? I thought, that's what I want. I'll never forget. That was so funny. What other UK delicacies have you brought to the Ozarks on the truck that people are starting to grow accustomed to here?
Yeah, so the shepherd's pie. So you said about the sausage rolls. Sausage rolls in England are very popular. And we do the farmers market in Springfield every Saturday. And that is the number one seller at the farmers market. It's real easy, handheld food, little snack size. So it's a little lighter than the pasty.
And by the way, the sausage roll is some kind of a sausage wrapped in a pastry, correct? It's just, more of a puff pastry, correct?
That's right, yeah. It's ground pork sausage with parmesan and herbs and then a puff pastry around the outside. And it's very popular in England for parties. They chop them into little slices and have them at parties, little handheld food and everything. But at the farmers market, you're just walking around with something a little bit lighter, and it's super popular. We also do a shepherd's pie, which I get told off by my English friends because I know it's not legitimately a shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie is actually made with lamb, so it's actually a cottage pie. So it's ground beef, peas, carrots, mushrooms, a sherry sauce, and then a baked mashed potato on top. Super popular in the UK, really, really is popular, and it's one of our good sellers. We have a new place in Nix called 14 Mill Market, and it's almost the top seller at the farm at that market as well. So really popular one, and now we started doing fish and chips as well. So we opened up as a pasty company, wanted to really promote the pasty. That's what we wanted to be known for, and it's what we're still known for. But I want to say that every other person that came up in line said, do you do fish and chips? I mean, it's what we're known for in Britain. Yeah, that's what they're coming for is the fish and chips. And so it took us a while to break, but we broke and we did now do fish and chips, and it's super popular. And we've actually got a food truck that now goes around town just like the pasty truck with fish and chips on it, and again been very, very popular. So yeah.
Is that one of the things you sort of had to come up with as well, the fish and chips and the recipe?
For sure. Obviously fish and chips are kind of a simple food, but I wanted it to be gourmet too. I wanted it to be a step above. I didn't want just to have. So we hand batter our fish. We make our own batter. We hand batter it. We have a beer battered fry. So it's a step above, something that you would get. Certainly something you would buy frozen. It's sure. Right, and pre-battered. So, and we just make them to order for folks. And we do that in our fish and chips truck, which travels outside of Springfield. And then we also do it at 14 Mill Market, where we moved in January.
So the fish and chips truck, are there pasties on the truck too, or is it it's strictly the fish and chips? That's what a big deal it is on that one.
Yeah, so we have two food trucks. We've got a pasty truck that travels outside of Springfield, and we got a fish and chips truck that travels outside. And so they just rotate around the communities outside of. We also have shrimp that we sell on the fish and chips truck, and we sell our fried pies, which are fried pasties, little mini pasties, and they're a dessert pasty. So we do like lemon curd and vanilla custard and strawberry rhubarb. All of those are really, really English flavors. We have cherry and pumpkin and mince during the holidays. Those mini dessert pasties rotate monthly, so there always is a different flavor. Every 2 months you get a different flavor. So, but they're all based on English flavors.
Isn't there another English dessert that you served at the food truck festival downtown one year and won for? As I recall it, I think you might have won best dessert. If not, I think the judges were really, really digging the dessert. It could have won People's Choice. I don't really remember, but what was that one?
Yeah, that's called the banoffee pie, and it's an Irish dessert, and we sell it in every location. We've done it since we started. It's really popular. It's got a graham cracker base, fresh bananas, caramel, whipped cream, and then cocoa powder on top. And they're individual size, like real, and they're very, very popular. So we won't change. It's one of the most popular ones that we've done, and we've had other things like sticky toffee pudding and molten lava cake and lemon cake. But the banoffee has just been one of the most, and it's unique. There's not really. Somebody said it tastes like a banana. What's it? Banana Foster. Oh, yeah. So it's similar to that, but no one's had anything quite like it. So that's what we want to do, is bring something different, and that's what that banoffee does.
Wow. Well, you've certainly done that, and if I'm not mistaken, you can buy pasties in the stores, correct?
Well, you can buy take and bake at any of our locations. So we've not yet gotten them into the grocery stores, but we're working on that. Okay. But you can buy any place that you find London Calling, you can buy them take and bake. So you can cook them at home.
Well, it's amazing the work that you do, and I don't know how either of you ever find time to sleep, really, with all of these trucks, but you move the truck around. Like, right now, we're actually down at Price Cutter on South National. It's out in the corner. What are your hours? Where can people find you?
So the best place to get us all the time is at 14 Mill Market, which is in Nixa on East Mount Vernon Street, and the only day we're closed is Monday, so we're open Tuesday through Sunday, and the hours are 11 till 8 most of the time, and then Friday, Saturday it's open till 10 at night, and that's got 10 restaurants inside it as well, so there's lots of choice. They got a bar, indoor outdoor seating, and they do karaoke and trivia nights and all kinds of fun stuff up there as well. So that's the best place to catch us all the time. And then we have the food truck, which if you look on Facebook, we tend to post every Sunday our schedule of where we're going to be, and the fish and chip and the pasty truck get put on there. And then we have a text service that if you're in a town such as Stockton, you would text this number and then reply back with Stockton, and it would text you every time we're in that town. So so if you're outside of Springfield, that's the best way to do it, is to be updated on the text service as well. So
Where's that double-decker bus? Where's the bus?
Yep.
Oh, wait, there it is right there. Okay, I couldn't see as far enough to tell which one that. Where'd you get the bus?
So the bus is located at, we have a Price Cutter location as well. So we're at South National, 4228 South National Avenue. And there is, inside that Price Cutter, we have our kitchen where we make everything. So this is our hub. And we do sell them frozen from this location as well. So all the pasties are from here. Don't do hot, just frozen from here. The double-decker bus stays there. And every now and again, we will do an event such as Lent. For Lent, we did the fish and chips down here. And then we'll bring the food truck to that double decker and then open it up so you can eat on board the bus again. But that is special occasions, so you'd have to follow Facebook and Instagram to kind of find out when we do those special.
Gotcha. And the photo was taken on the bus, me drinking the Guinness gravy. But where did you find that bus? How does one go about finding a bus?
Busesforsaleonline.com is where we found it.
There you go. Okay, that made it easy enough. Yeah. Well,
so there's the backstory.
So we found it in California, so we had to tow it from California over to here. So I took a flight over, got to see it to make sure that it was legitimate and it was in good working order and everything as well, and that it was all set up ready to be a seating area. And so we towed it all the way from California. It spent longer in America than it did in England. It's a 1962 Bristol Ledecker, and it's fully kitted out inside with restaurant seating, like dining seating. Got music playing in there, air conditioning. So yeah, it's amazing in there. So we will make more use of it in the years to come.
Well, I love the work that you do. I love the food that you put out, and so do people in the Ozarks. And so thank you for what you're doing. I mean, this is such an interesting backstory, and I love that you shared it with me. Neil Gomme and Carrie Mitchell, co-owners of London Calling Gourmet Pasty Company. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. And now I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free and each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.